Right, I'm covering all aspects of ratio right from the beginning and then taking some of the more difficult bits in. Okay, so ratio. We should be completely understanding of how we write a ratio. It's really important that when you're writing your ratios, you are writing them in the right order. So if it says to you, Kit Kats to digestives, and then gives you the ratio, then that's what you need to have. Could you just shut the door for me? Thank you. Okay, so if I've got Kit Kats to digestives there, I've got 2 Kit Kats, I've got 6 digestives, 2 to 6. We're all fine with that. If I rearrange them on the plate so that each par's got the same amount, then they're both in 1 to 3. Okay, still got 2 to 6, but 1 to 3. So I've cancelled down my ratio, I've simplified it. This shouldn't be anything unusual to you. You should be able to do this really easy. Okay, same as if we are cancelling down. If I've got the ratio 5 to 10 and I'm simplifying my ratio, I'm looking for something that goes into 5 and into 10. 5 goes into both of them, and that gives me 1 to 2. Are we happy so far?
Yes. Very good.
Okay, Nicole, what goes into 12 and 14? 2. How many times does 2 go into 12?
6.
And into 14?
7.
So we get our 6 to 7. Okay? So we know that when we are simplifying as far as we can. Sometimes you might simplify and then go again to get the smallest numbers that you can, but they would be whole numbers, yes? Now, this is where we move a little further in. Sometimes you are asked to write your ratio in the form 1 to n, or you might be asked to do it in the form n to 1. So, what that means is you have to make the number on the left-hand side 1. Okay? It does mean you are going to end up with decimals within your ratio, which you might not be used to. The process is no different. If I'm going to put that in the form 1 to n, what would I need to divide both sides by to get that to be 1? 5. Okay? So 5 divided by 5 is 1, and then 23 divided by 5, and you... Brilliant, 4.6. You would be allowed to use a calculator for that one. Are we happy with that idea? Okay? Could be 1 to n, it could be n to 1. So whichever position that number 1 is in, that's where you need to place it on your diagram. So, on this one here, 100 to 37, in the ratio 1 to n, where does the 1 go? Underneath which number? 100? So, oh, I've forgotten giving it you now. Divide by 100 to make that 1. So, when you divide 37 by 100, you get 0.37. Have you done it in this form last year?
No, because
right, okay. So this is just that extra step, taking it a little bit further. So this one here, 4 centimetres to 3 metres. Okay, 2 little problems within this one. One, because you've got your 4 centimetres. Second, because you've got 3 metres. What's your problem?
you need to get them both in the same measurement.
Okay, so they need to be both in the same measurement. When you are simplifying, when you're putting it in the form 1 to n or n to 1, then you need to have both of them in the same unit of measure. So there might be a conversion that you need to do first. Although I changed that to 300 centimetres, equally, I could have changed the 4 centimetres into metres. It wouldn't have mattered as long as I was consistent. So if I want that in the ratio 1 to n, what do I need to divide each side by?
4.
So divide by 4 and I get 1, divide by 4 and I get 75. Okay, happy so far? Okay, quickly, I just want to run through. Yes, quickly, I just want to run through sharing out in a ratio, and I want to show you the method that I want you to start using. You may have done it before, where you've done it with parts, and you've worked out what one part is, so then 3 parts of something else. I want you to get used to doing it in a little grid like this. So, wafer Kit Kat digestives. And I'm happy for you to put WKD. Well, that works, that's quite nice. Yeah. And then I'm putting my initial ratio, 1 to 2 to 5. At the side, I would want you to write total. So you put 8 for your total. Because I want 40 biscuits, I'm writing my 40 underneath the 8. Okay? But you need to be really careful in the question. Is it a total of 40? Because sometimes it might say to you, you've got 8 Kit Kat or you've got 15 digestives. So you need to make sure you're writing the number they've given you underneath the right number as you go along. Okay? So, to go from 8 to 40, we multiply by 5, and in the ratio, we do the same to all of them. So 1 by 5 is 5, 2 5s are 10, and 5 5s are 25. Oops. That's the grid I want you to get used to writing. So whenever you do a ratio question, it's like this. Because as we get onto some of the more difficult and challenging questions and other topics, this is going to become invaluable to you. It's a huge part of the new GCSE, being able to notice the multiplicative relationships that you've got there. Stop stroking his head. Okay, so here I'm showing £50 in the ratio 2 to 3. I would be expecting you to write 2 to 3, total of 5 at the side, write the £50 underneath.
Why have you got to write all that? Why can't we just write it? We straight away know it's 20 to 30.
The reason I've shown you with an easy question is so that you can learn the method. So you're not trying to focus on how to do the actual question.
We have to write out
Yes, you do.
the grid when we do the questions.
Yes,
Why?
because they're not going to be as easy as this one.
Yeah, but on what about on these ones?
No, in the new mark scheme.
See it straight away. Can you just write the answer?
No, in the new. Let me explain. Let me explain. In the new GCSE, the way they are allocating marks, only 1 mark is for the correct part of the answer. So if you looked at that and you just wrote 20 to 30, and it's a 2-mark question, you're only going to get 1 mark.
So 1 mark then.
Well, if you do that all the way through your paper, you're not going to get the grade you're capable of. So let's.
No, I'm not on about all the way through. I'm on about for a simple, like one of your starting questions.
If it's 1 mark, then it's fine to go with 20 and 30. If it's more than 1 mark, then it's not fine.
Why? It's just wasting
Right.
time.
But that's how it is, okay?
It's a new mark scheme.
We just have to accept it. Okay, so 5 times 10 makes 50. If you didn't know what you're multiplying by to go from the top row to the next row, you could have said 50 divided by 5, and that would tell you that you need to multiply by 10. So then multiply the 2 by 10 and the 3 by 10, and we get 30, okay? Are we all quite happy? And take that one back off. Yes? Now, I noticed in the exam last week that a lot of you got really quite stressed with it. So, what I've decided to do is at the end of each lesson, then I want us to go through an exam question, so that when you have your next exam, you are a little more familiar with how the exam questions are coming. Does that suit? Yes?
Yeah.
No? Would you rather have seen more exam questions?
Yeah, they were a bit confusing.
Yes, I think because you haven't seen the style of them. I think that's probably why it's been a little bit confusing. Do you want to turn that off now, Roxy?
It was stuff that we haven't done